Hi, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. Thank you so much for joining me for this YouTube premiere. And thank you if you're watching the recording. So be sure and say hello and ask any questions in the live chat, and I'll respond as soon as possible. And tonight, we're going to get started with some projects, 2 cards with the Hello Beautiful bundle from the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. But first, I'm going to flip the camera down, and I am going to share a couple of announcements to remind you about a couple of things, and then we'll get started. So let me switch you over here. Here we go. Okay, first of all, the Waves of the Ocean promotion is going on now. It is an early release bundle that is beautiful. It's from the new annual catalog and will carry over in May when you get your new big annual catalog from Stampin' Up. But right now, while supplies last, we have this beautiful designer paper, which I used in last week's premiere, this beautiful blue foil, and these gems that are gorgeous. So these 3 items will not be in the new annual catalog. They're only available right now through through May 2nd, or while supplies last. Okay, so if you want some of these, you need to get them now while they're still available. Okay, next we have our Savings in Bloom promotion, and the star of this show is this Mini Boss, the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that works with many of our dies. It is so easy to carry. It's portable if you're lacking in space or you just travel. For travel, it's great. So look at that. It's 20% off. It's regularly $60, now $48, and also 20% off or a select group of bundles in the annual catalog. And you can find this on my online store, and I'll put a link either on YouTube in the video description to these sales, and if you're on my blog, it will be there. Okay, all right. Now, each week, if I have some people that comment or say hello or ask questions, I do a random drawing to receive one of the projects that I make. And for last week, with the amazing silhouettes and this beautiful Wave of the Ocean paper, Connie Cornelio will get this card. So thank you, Connie, for being here during the live premiere and for commenting. Okay, let's get started. The first, we have a fun fold card, okay? And this is it. Now, I will say, this is really busy. Now, I love it. It might not be for everyone, but, that's what's great about paper crafting is we all have our own style and all prefer certain things. So I'm going to try this tonight with a different background designer paper, but first, let me show you the inside. Isn't that cute? Okay, so it's super simple, and also, I don't know the name of this. I call it the V-Fold pop-up card, okay? So I think kids would like to receive this, really anybody, but this has some sweet sentiments in it, and you see this banner here. I am using tonight this, let's see what, Abstract Beauty Ephemera Pack that goes with this suite and has some beautiful little elements that you can use in your card making or scrapbooking. So I hope you'll take a look at that. So let's get started. We're going to do the inside first, okay, because it involves some scoring. And you'll need a piece of basic white cut 7.5 by 4 3/4. And you see this 2.5 inch? For me, this is what I use to score mine, okay, and to make that little V. What I did is, you see these arrows, I made a tick mark 2.5 inches in, 2.5 inches in, and then I scored at, I get that, 3 3/4. Here's the little template. Score at 3 3/4, and then we're going to make another tick mark at 2.5 inches down. So you might want to take a screenshot of this if you want to reproduce this card like I have it here. Ignore this fold here. That I was trying different angles of the V for this particular project, okay? All right, so let's get started with this. I'm going to get my ruler first, and I'm going to go from the end here to 2.5 inches in, and I'm going to make a little mark with my pencil. Where did it go? Here it is, 2.5 inches there. And then I'm going to come over in 2.5 inches from this other side. And again, you can adjust the width of this V according to your project, okay? Now I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm going to score it at, always double check, 3 3/4 inches down, which is in half. Be sure you use your light gray. If you're using our Stampin' Trimmer, be sure and use the light gray scoring tool. Okay, so now I'll move this just for a second, and I'm going to score at that magic measurement, 2.5 inches for this project anyway. So I'm going from the top down to 2.5 inches. Okay, and we're going to score with our trimmer from these markings, okay? All right, so let me take this, and I'm going to put one of the ticks up here at the top in the middle of the track, and then this bottom one down here. And I like to fold it a little bit. It just makes it easier. Let's see. I like to do that so I can make sure I have that tick mark there, and it'll score through to the other side, and that's okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to score. Okay. So I've got that side, and you see it scored the other side too. So I've already got that there. Let's see if that's going to work for me. I pressed really hard, and if you do it like that, you only have to score one time. Okay. So this is going to fold up like this. Okay, so you want that center popping up and these folding back. And so the way you know that you've got it correct is you fold it in half there, and you've got this slice there, not really a slice, but a fold there in your cardstock. So I'm going to match those corners there, and I'm going to get my bone folder and give it a good crease. So there we have it. That's a simple mechanism, simple fold. Just remember 2.5. And really the width of this is determined by how big of an element you're going to put here. Okay, so you may need to make it a little wider if your element there is larger. Okay, like a butterfly, you probably would need to be a little wider. Okay, so now I have that. I want to do a little stamping here. So I'm using Magenta Madness and Just Jade. Now these two are in colors from 2020 to 2022. These will be retiring this year. So if you have these and you need the ink refills, I would get them now, okay? Because once that retiring list goes out, those seem to go really quickly. Okay, so now I have leaves, 2 little leaves from the stamp set. I didn't even show you that. Here it is with the dies, okay? It's got some abstract stamps in there, but they're fun to work with, okay? So let me open my jade, and I'm going to stamp the leaves first. I have a larger one and a smaller one. So I'm going to stamp that on one side and ink it up like in the corner. And I'm going to go ahead and re-ink that and come up here to this corner. And then I have the smaller leaf. I'm just going to flip my block around. And this is a trick when if I'm traveling and I don't have enough blocks, I'd use a nice size one for these little stamps and just flip it over to get ink all over your hands, which sometimes that's impossible for me. But okay, I'm going to set that aside and close this up for now. And then we're going to take, what did I do with the little flower? Goodness me. Here it is. All right. So let's take Magenta Madness. And we're going to ink up this little flower. And it's pretty abstract itself. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put this one up here. And you can add a gem to the center of that if you'd like. Okay. Those pretty pink flowers are just do the right thing, right? Okay, so now I have an open pack of this ephemera pack. And I'm going to need this label and then this heart. Okay. And then let's see, is that all I need on this one? Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to take this heart and I need Hello Beautiful, which I thought I had mounted on something. I guess I didn't. Okay, let's put that here. And I am just going to use my basic black marker and color over that. And I'm going to stamp that right in the center. I don't know if these are available right now. I know they have been unorderable, but this is a good marker. This is the only Stampin' Right marker that you can purchase individually. Okay, so what I'm doing now is just some faux stitching on the edges. And I've been having some technical difficulties this morning with internet for some reason. I usually don't. But if you see some blurriness or some freezing in the video, that's why. But I just decided to go ahead and go with it and see how it worked. All right. So now I have that done. And then I'm going to take a little bit of glue and glue just the left side, okay? Because when you fold it, it folds down. It doesn't bend it. And I have found that that worked best for me. I'm doing it just a little to the right of center. I'm putting that right there and centering that up. And you see how that heart fits right there in that V? And then when you fold it, magic. Okay. All right. So let me set that aside and let it dry a little bit. And then I'm going to get my card base, which is Night of Navy, 5.5 by 8.5. So I'm going to take that and fold it and give it a good crease with the bone folder. All right. Then next, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside. So the way I do this is I fold it up and I match that fold here with that center fold of on the card base, okay? And I try to put it equidistant from top and bottom. So what I'm going to do is just put glue on the side. All right, and line it up with the center fold and try to get it equidistant from top and bottom. Okay, and it's not right on top of the fold, it's just to the right of it. Let me see if I can get that. See it? I mean, it's pretty close, but you don't want it to be bulky here. So, okay, let me go ahead and put some glue on this side. And Mr. Brown just came in with some fish. So, did you see my note there? Yeah. No, that's okay. Did you see what it said? Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. The kids were coming tonight. I got a little smear there, so I should have left that and let it dry a little more, but that's okay. What I'll do is I'll end up putting a little element right there. Okay. You can barely see it here. You know, like we say, there are no mistakes in crafting. Chances for embellishment, right? Okay. All right. So there we go. Now, let's get our card, our finished card here. On this, I used this really busy background. And what I decided to do is try a different one just to see how it looks. So I'm using this one that still has all the colors, but it has a white background and it's not so busy. It's a print for sure. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put that on the front, and I'm going to give that a crease again. And I'm going to fix to do there, but I should have let that dry. Lisa. Okay. Now let's put this here. And some liquid glue and put on. And I see my screen is freezing, so I'm hoping this is going to work out okay. Goodness. Okay. So now we have that. And then I use this striped, it's kind of a distressed stripe embossing folder with the mini Stampin' It Cut and Emboss with a piece of Magenta Madness. And it is cut, let me get this out for you, 2 by 5 1/4. All right, and that's going to go over top, and I'm already liking how that looks. Okay, so this folder comes in a pair with, I think it's called Stripes and Splatters. I could find the other one I'd show you. It's here somewhere. Here it is. I use them all the time, so you've probably seen me use them. They come together and they're a great pair to have and work well in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, so this is going to go on here, and I'm doing it over to the right some. Let me get this on. Okay, so now we have that. Now we have all these little pieces that are cut with these hexagons. And so what you'll need is different scraps of paper, of jade, you pick some patterns that will coordinate with your designer paper that you have in the background. And we're going to, let's see, I want these angled. I liked how I had them before. So that is going to go there. I want those gold splatters to show, so I'm putting that corner there. Then I have these two pieces that are going to go here and here, okay? And I'm going to cut another piece, so I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm going to stamp, no, I'm not, I'm wait to stamp on those. I'm going to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to bring in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And I have this particular die that cuts the hexagon in half, okay? And so what I did is I chose another print that I liked that would coordinate, and I'm going to use this magenta side. It's kind of a distressed splatter look. And I'm going to die cut this and use it on those Just Jade pieces. So I'll ask you to hang in there with me if the video is crazy. And I'm going to, for the second card, I may try something different and just edit it in. Okay. All right. So now, move that out of the way. You see how I got these two little pieces with that? Love that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this over top of these hexagons. Okay. Put a little glue there, and I'm just matching it up. Cuts it in half. And let's do this one. Now I'm going to take this little splatter stamp from the stamp set and my Just Jade, and just to add a little interest, because that looked a little plain to me, I'm going to stamp this twice. Okay, and then do this here again, just to give it a little interest, all that abstract goodness. And then let's see. Let's go ahead and put this together. So I'm going to go ahead. This is the bottom hexagon, so I'm going to glue that down first. This pattern paper comes in a 4x6 stack. I didn't even talk about it. It's so cute. 4x6, which makes it a real good size for card fronts. Like I cut this at 4 1/4, 5 1/4, and I had a little strip left over, which is great, like for the inside of your cards. Okay. All right. So I've got that there. But anyway, it has some beautiful black and white patterns on the reverse side on some of them, and some of them just have colors and abstract goodness. And let me think about what I'm doing here. Glue that down there. And this, you can't mess this up. You know, you just place it down to bring out the best in the patterns on your paper. Okay. This one I'm going to put right here. Kind of angle it a little bit. But anyway, this is a specialty paper because it has gold metallic on one side. I love it. So pretty. Okay. Get this here. So while I'm working on this, I want to tell you that if you're not on my mailing list, you need to go to my blog at inkandinspirations.com and sign up, because that's where you get all the news, okay? And I've got a mini virtual workshop coming up next week, and I want you all to not miss it, okay? All right, so now I have this, and I'm using a stamp from the set, but I want to show you what I did. And you may have seen me do this before, but see this sentiment here? It says, I miss your face. I want it to just say, I miss you, okay? So what I did is I mounted my stamp, and I covered up the R and the U, and the R and your, and face. I miss your, the face is covered up, and the R in your. So what I'm going to do is take my Magenta Madness, and I am going to stamp it. Oh, don't forget to take this off. Right there in the center. And now it says I miss you instead of I miss your face. Okay. And that's going to go here. Put this on. And then I'm using the hexagons that are in with this suite. And I'm going to use some black ones. Just like this, and use 5 of them. And it ties in with the black that's in the designer paper and in the ephemera pack. Okay. And there you go. Okay. So that's 2 different looks, right? Which one do you like the best? I like them both. You know, it's a little, this one is, I mean, they're definitely different. This one is certainly busy, but I like them both. Okay, stay tuned, and I'm going to start here in just a minute with the next project.
Okay, so this card with the Hello Beautiful bundle has more of a pastel feel than the previous card that we made, and we're going to make a fun background on our card base using one of those abstract stamps. So let's get started with our card base that's cut 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to go ahead and fold that and give it a good crease with a bone folder. All right, let's see. You go. Now I'm doing a tone on tone look, which means using the same color ink as the cardstock. Now open this up. This is Blushing Bride, and I'm going to take this stamp and ink it up, and I'm going to get some scrap paper and let's do that like this. Don't need that big piece. All right, let's get this. And I'm just going to scatter this over the background and inking it up each time so that I get a pretty dark imprint. I want it to show up nicely on this background behind the main element there on the front. So this card will also use some embellishment from the ephemera pack that goes along with this suite. So I'm just going to scatter these. And since the main element will be mainly in the center there, I don't have to concentrate so much there, but I am going to put one right there just so I make sure I've got all the bases covered. Okay, I think that's going to work. All right, so that's going to dry just a little bit, and I'm going to show you our next two pieces that I've cut. I have Just Jade in 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then a piece of that designer paper, Abstract Beauty, that comes in this 4 by 6 pack again, just gorgeous. And it has, look at that Just Jade wash on the back. So I'm going to use that, and you can see the gold flecks in it, and that's going to go over top of this. So let's see, glue. Now, I wanted to challenge myself to make this card without ribbon. And so what I did, and what I did in my early days with Stampin' Up! Before I became a demonstrator, and I didn't have too much ribbon, I used strips of cardstock, okay? So I have this piece here in basic white, 1/2 by 5.5, and I'm gonna take my tailored tag punch and just punch the end. So you can just slide that in there. And like that. Okay. So now we're going to put that across the middle there. And this is going to go here, just like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this piece down. And it just gives it a contrast between the card base and your layered elements there, and gives the look kind of like faux ribbon, okay, going across there. So I'm going to center that like that. Let's see. And that's going to go right over top. And I can go ahead and glue this down. All right. Okay, got that all squared away. Now I have a couple of hexagons cut. And this is a 4 by 5 1/4 piece that'll go on the inside of the card. And then I had used some scrap to die cut this piece. And you see it's got a little embossed. Can you see that? A little embossed around the edges, cute. And then these two hexagons, okay? And so I'm going to stamp on these first, and then the sentiment is going to be here. So let me... Since this ink is open, the Blushing Bride, let's go ahead and use it. Again, this is tone on tone, same color ink with the same color paper, and I'm going to give it a border with this little swoosh. Just lining it up around the edge, overlapping in the corner. It's okay. But it kind of finishes this off and really makes a difference. See? Okay, now for the Just Jade piece, I have these 3 little X's that are also in the Hello Beautiful stamp set. And again, tone on tone. And I'm just going to put a set of 3 on each side. Okay, I'm going to leave that open because my sentiment is going to be stamped in Just Jade. And it says, first of all, you're amazing. So I'm going to ink that up and stamp that in the center. Where's my... Let's see. Okay, so now we have that and we can start assembling. So, let's see. I'm going to need some dimensionals. If I can find my little minis. I have some black ones, so that'll do. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to build these up just like that. Okay, let's see. There we go. And I cut that a little smaller than I did on my first project, but that's okay. It's still going to work. We're going to put this over top. I'm just gluing that down. And I wanted the points at the top on this one. And then I'm using my ephemera pack again. And so let me get these elements over here. So I want these 2 little leaves. It's gold metallic on gold on vellum. And then this little blushing bride heart. Okay. So let's see here. Let me get my card base in here. And a tip, always be sure you have your opening where it needs to be before you start gluing on top of here. Okay, so first I'm going to take and I'm going to glue this in the middle only. And I'll show you why in a minute. And I'm going to put that in the center. Okay, then these are going to slip in behind. So I wanted to leave some space there where I could tuck that in. So I'm going to go like that. And then another one down here in this corner. Lift it, slide underneath. And then I have this tiny heart. And I'm using a mini Stampin' Dimensional. This is in black, but it's not going to show. So I'm going to put that right here. And then these are the Waves of the Ocean rhinestones. They're gorgeous. Look at that. So I'm going to take one of these Pacific Point ones and put it in the center. I thought that would look just really nice. Whoop. Well, that wasn't quite the center, Lisa, so let's try that again. Okay, so there we go. That's a simple card, right? And then we're going to show you here. I put So Happy to Know You with that abstract blob that we used on our card front. And that's going to be for the inside of the card. You could also add some designer paper strip down here if you'd like, just to tie in the front, and I may do that later. Okay, there are our cards for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you will give these cards a try. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Be sure you visit my website at inkandinspirations.com and sign up for my mailing list, okay, so that you don't miss anything. And I will talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.